Welcome back. Storytelling is the heart, the core of filmmaking. As creators, we need to capture the audience's attention to get them engaged, get them to care about the subject. There's no better and more effective tool than a story. Of course, script, locations, lighting choices, visual effects, camera movements, camera placement, and strong cinematography all go to telling the best story possible. First, it's important to understand the basic of storytelling. A story needs to have a beginning, middle, and end, and each of these should be clearly defined and easy to follow. A good way to ensure this is to make sure your story has a clear conflict, characters, and a resolution. This structure gives the story a sense of depth and meaning that will keep the audience engaged. For example, you might tell the story of a young musician struggling to make it in the music industry. The beginning introduces the character and the conflict. The middle explores the character journey and the choices they make. The end resolves the conflict and provides a satisfying conclusion. In a simple story structure, the story must include an exposition, a problem, rising action, climax, falling action, and a resolution. The exposition is the introduction of the story and its characters. It is the part of the story that sets the stage and establishes the setting, characters, and conflict. The problem is where the protagonist wants to achieve or do something, but something or someone obstructs them. The rising action is the part of the story where the events start to build up and the conflict intensifies. This is the part of the story where the characters are tested and the stakes are raised. The climax is the most intense part of the story and is the turning point for the protagonist. This is the moment where the protagonist must take a difficult decision and take action to resolve the conflict. The falling action is the part of the story where the tension starts to disappear and the story is brought to a close. This is the part of the story where loose ends are tied up and the protagonist is able to find peace. Finally, the resolution is the conclusion of the story and is the part of the story where the conflict is resolved. The resolution is often the most memorable part of the story as it is the moment of catharsis for the protagonist and the audience. By following this structure, you can create powerful and effective videos that use simple storytelling techniques. In your favorite movies and series, you will see that each character has his own story and all these different stories create the final result. Try to separate the story of one character and its parts. Okay, now you have an idea of a story and let's say you have also added all your elements we just mentioned. What is the next step that helps you create it in a helpful way? It is time for the storyboard. A storyboard is the roadmap from script to screen. It keeps your project organized. If you're working in a group, it helps you explain to the rest of the team your ideas. It can take multiple drafts to get the pacing, settings, characters, and plot just right, so don't hesitate to revise. Writing camera movement, camera angle, and type of shot is essential so you can visualize and correctly understand and plan your idea. You can use a template or make your own one directly from your notes, or even use any of the variety of online tools. To use a storyboard, follow these steps. Start with a script or a concept. Before creating a storyboard, you need to have a clear idea of what you want to depict in your film. Write down a script or a detailed concept that you want to convey through your story. Sketch the scenes. Once you have a script, sketch each scene as an individual frame. Consider important elements such as camera angles, character positions, dialogue, and visual effects. Add notes. Add notes to each frame, indicating the character's actions, dialogue, camera movements, and any special effects. This helps in getting a clear idea of what's happening in each scene. Refine and repeat. Refine your storyboard until you're satisfied with the visual presentation of your film. You may need to repeat this process multiple times until you have a clear understanding of each scene. Using a storyboard is important in filmmaking because it provides several benefits, including visualization. A storyboard allows filmmakers to visualize the story in a clear and concise way, making it easier to understand the narrative structure. Better planning. A storyboard helps in planning and organizing shots, allowing filmmakers to make necessary adjustments before filming. Efficient use of time and resources. By creating a storyboard, filmmakers can identify any potential problems and make necessary changes before filming. This saves time and resources on set. Improved communication. A storyboard serves as a common language between the director, cinematographer, and the rest of the crew, helping everyone to understand the vision of the film. Increased creativity. A storyboard is a great tool of encouraging creativity and exploring different visual options before filming. In conclusion, a storyboard is one of the most essential tools in the filmmaking process. It allows filmmakers to visualize the story, plan shots, save time and resources, improve communication, and increase creativity. In the first video, you took notes based on a scene of your favorite show. Use the same or any other scene to copy and write down the storyboard of that scene. Don't forget to also add all the information we saw in the previous video. Afterwards, you will be ready to make your own idea into a real storyboard. Moving forward, there is one more part where you will also learn how to plan, shoot and edit it, as well as a few helpful filmmaking tips. See you!